Nearly 2 decades in Central Florida, a local nonprofit is set to close down its emergency shelter for young adults next month. It's happening during a time when we're seeing a rise in homelessness, too. News 6's Troy Campbell has the reason behind the decision.
The organization says starting now, they are beginning to phase out their emergency shelter. After decades helping youth in the community, Covenant House says it has no other choice than to shut their emergency shelter down.
Unfortunately, it's become very common to have youth that are homeless.
State Representative Eskamani says issues involving home insecurities in Central Florida have become a top issue for residents. She says with increased rental rates, even Florida's employed population struggles to pay for their housing costs.
Yet our wages don't reflect the reality of the cost. And so it creates an environment where many people come here, find a good job, but that good job does not allow them to pay their rent, doesn't allow them to pay for their car.
Since 1995, the Covenant House in Orlando has provided free emergency sheltering for youth in Central Florida. However, the organization says it's phasing out its emergency shelter, citing the costs associated with its operation, saying it, quote, made the difficult decision to close its emergency residential shelter due to financial considerations, but will continue serving young people experiencing homelessness in Orlando and Central Florida by providing other critical outreach, workforce, and supportive housing services. The restructuring will allow Covenant House Florida to effectively meet the evolving needs of the Central Florida community. Covenant House says their organization will continue to offer all other services, such as career counseling and housing assistance.
We can't forget our social safety nets. We can't forget organizations that focus on the housing insecure, which when we can help people get back to a place of economic security, everyone benefits.
With $1 million set aside in the state's budget to offer housing resources, Eskamani says it's critical for people to show their support for youth organizations such as Covenant House.
I think it's important for the private sector to step up. We need to be donating to these organizations. So many folks.
And Covenant House says for the next several weeks, that shelter will remain open. And they do assure it will help them better allocate their resources by closing it down. In Orlando, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.